In this next episode, you guys can hear from one of my favorite guests. His name is Daniel Song. I have known him for a long time, and he's just an overall good dude in the insurance industry, as a father and as an entrepreneur. And what he shared in this episode is his own upbringing, the challenge that he went through as an immigrant, and also some of the challenges he went through in the fall of 2008, the financial market crash, and what he went through, the process he put himself through to be relentless, to not to fail his family, and to provide for his family, that led to his success in the insurance career. You might not see it, you might miss it, but this one scene where he talked about realizing that his life insurance policy is worth more than what his family is worth. Even the thought of cashing that life insurance policy is as unthinkable as that is. Personally, I have met men who end up taking their own lives because they cash out a life insurance policy to provide for their family. And you can see that I almost broke character. I'm interviewing him. I'm trying to stay in the character, and I almost broke character in that moment because I felt that moment. I've been through it myself. I've been through 2008, and recently, 3 years ago, I had another startup that failed, and it wrecked me and those close to me. So everything that he said in that moment was everything that I could relate to. So I will try and stay in character, not distract the guest of the show. But it's an amazing episode, so I hope y'all enjoy. Hello, listener. Welcome to the show, Industry Voice with Jeff. And today we have our guest, Mr. Daniel Song. How are you, sir?
I'm well, Jeff. How are you?
Good. I'm really excited about this one, especially as the long time that I know you, I knew that when I had my first podcast, you'd be on the priority list on the top.
I truly honored, my friend. Truly honored. I know you have a huge network of people that you know, so I am really. This is a special moment for me.
Yeah. So let me do the introduction to the audience. I think I first met you through Facebook, right? Facebook Messenger. We were both in a Facebook group together. I think that Facebook group was IAOA.
I think.
And I made a post, and then you shot me a message, and then we just stayed connected since. And we have a lot of common friends in the industry these days. And it is nice to see that everybody just have so much respect for you. You know, everyone know who you are. You go to so many conferences, and when you show up, everyone's like, this is me and my best friend, Daniel Song, right? Like, you are well respected in the industry. But also, you are one of the very few insurance agency owners who are successful and has a significant TikTok following, right? So, you know, I'll let you do the story on that. And, you know, I'd love for our audience just also hear your own personal journey, like, you know, not just how you get into TikTok, but how you know, got into insurance and just walk through that journey with us, because you have a very unique journey.
Yeah. And, you know, and I like to think that everybody has a story. And as I live my life through the years, you really do find out that there's so much more than, you know, what a lot of people put as priority, you know, finances. But, you know, I was born in Korea, and I'm Korean, and I born in 1979. My mom, you know, left us probably when I was about 3 years old, and my dad brought us to the country when I was 5, and we settled down here in Southern California. But, you know, it's interesting now, Jeff, and you can relate to me because you have kids too. But man, being parents, you realize all the things that you got to do as a child and all the things that you didn't get to do, but also all the sacrifices that goes into decision making as parents. But my dad came here to this country, you know, worked at the San Diego swap meet. You know, he bought a T-shirt for $1 and he was trying to sell it for $1.50. And so we didn't have a whole lot growing up. In fact, we were pretty poor. And I wasn't a typical Korean kid. all my friends, they did karate. They went to Kumon. They played instruments. I was very insecure. I didn't really learn how to read. I didn't really learn how to study. I didn't know the months of the year probably until late elementary school. So growing up like that, it's tough. The junior high years were really tough. High school was really tough. So I wasn't smart enough to go to college. So I went to the military. I went to the Marines. And looking back at it now, it's probably the best thing I ever did in my life. But I was 18 years old, never been away from home. The only time I was on an airplane was to come to the States in 84. And then the next time I was on an airplane was in 1998, going to Okinawa, Japan for my first duty station. And then, my second duty station was San Diego, Miramar. And that's where I met Christina, my wife. She's not military, but her family was down there. And then I went to school part-time. I got discharged, and then I went to City College and I transferred to USC. While I was going to USC, we also got married. And I thought, I'm a man now. I'm married. I have a family to take care of. So I actually, not knowing that this was probably the ultimate route, I dropped out of school because I got a part-time job at a mortgage company and I started making money. And then after about 6 months of working there, I said, I can do this on my own. And I opened up a brokerage, and we had about 15 loan officers, 3 processors. I was 24, 25 years old, and we were making a couple $100,000 a month. And that could have been $10 million a month. I didn't know any different. Never coming from money, never having money, didn't know how to handle money. We were completely reckless. We were out of our element. And right around 07, 08, that's when, the good Lord, he really humbled us, and we lost everything. We lost our homes, our cars. We moved so much because we were running away from rent. And there's a couple of vivid points in my life that I remember during those times. I remember my wife, I didn't have a job, and I was trying to look for something. And my wife comes home. And this was the lowest of our lows. We had $200 in my left pocket. That was it. I had my 4th daughter. We've been married 20 years now, but in the first 5 years of marriage, we had 4 daughters. And with my 4th daughter, she comes home and she says, honey, I got us some money. We got 2 more months of groceries. And I know it sounds silly now, and I said, I was so baffled. I said, what did you do? What did we sell now that we have? I thought we sold everything. But she said, no, don't worry. We got 2 more months to figure things out. And I said, what did you sell? And she wouldn't answer me. So I kept pressing her. I said, what did you sell? And then she lifts up her hand and she sold her wedding ring. And to any husband, any father, any guy, that would just crush your heart. And it did mine. And I did a lot of self-reflecting, and I did a lot of crying. And I said, you know what? That's her telling me that she believes in me. That's her telling me that she's going to stick it through with me. And, the best thing I ever did was get married to Christina, and your spouse is everything. And I can say that to you because, man, I know you guys have just an amazing marriage as well. But, we cried together every night, Jeff. We prayed together every night. She doesn't come from money either. And none of our parents were able to help. And in fact, when we talk about it now, our parents, they tell us, you guys, we just didn't know how bad it was. But they're proud of us for that because we never went running to them for help. We figured it out. And so at that point, I said, you know what? I'm going to make this thing happen. So that's when I found the insurance industry. I didn't know anybody in PNC, but I did my research and I was considering commercial real estate, residential real estate, equipment financing, commercial loans, anything that had to do with sales and a big ticket item. So I picked personal lines PNC, which is the complete opposite. I remember selling a mortgage policy or a mortgage, and I would make $30,000 for that close. In home insurance, I sell a $800 home insurance policy and I make $80, right? But I thought I thought about I wanted something long term. I didn't want to ride this roller coaster again with the kids. And I said, you know what? Just like everybody else who gets into insurance, everybody needs it. They have to have it by law. And let's see if this renewal thing is true. So I found a local agency and I would work insurance from 9 to 5, go build my P&C book. And I said, I didn't want a salary. I owned my book of business, but I just needed access. So I found a local agency. From 9 to 5, I would work there. And then at 5 o'clock, I would get off. I would be home by 6 to 8 p.m. I would eat dinner and play with the kids. And then from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., I would take a little nap. And 10 p.m. is when Christina would wake me up because I would drive about 45 minutes or so to my graveyard shift where I would work from 11 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. And I was working at a home alarm company. I would get off at 7:30, drive home, eat breakfast, take a shower, and go build the PNC book again. And it was so fun. It's so timely that, we're on this podcast because my daughter, we lived in Irvine at the time. That job was in Anaheim off of Lemon. And it was so funny because that's the exit that we took this weekend to go to my daughter's tennis tournament. And we drove by the facility and I told my wife, I said, that parking lot is where I would get off for my lunch break at 2:30 a.m. I would go into my little Prius, put my BlackBerry on my chest, lean back the car seat and take a 30-minute nap. And I said, that right there is this parking spot where I did that. So it just brought that memories. But so we grinded and grinded and grinded. And then, probably for the first 5 years, Jeff, I took maybe 7 days off. I wasn't in middle market commercial or large accounts. I was home and auto. So it was a lot of small little wins every single day, but it was consistency every single day. But I still worked a part-time job also during the day. So I was grinding for 5 years. And again, first 5 years took 7 days off, and 5 of those days off was probably for Christmas. I worked every single day. Christina would go to church with the 5 kids, and a lot of people thought she was a single mom, a lot of the new church members. So I didn't go to the birthday parties, the Friday night barbecues, the sports events, the get-togethers. And a lot of people said I was working too much. And a lot of people said that, money's not everything. But I didn't tell them this. And for anybody who's listening, who's getting this type of remarks, you have to focus on your family first. And it wasn't that I was putting work as a priority first. I was putting my family as a priority. And that's why I was working so much. And do I grind like that now? Absolutely not. I am 100% able to go to all the activities now where my kids think maybe I'm retired because I get to take them to school. I pick them up from school and then we go run, to all the sports activities. And we have a lot of great memories that we're building because of the commitment and time that I invested back then when they were young. So I wouldn't change a thing. And looking back at it, Jeff, my darkest days, I had some real dark moments, man. And like all of us, my true darkest moment was.
Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Track AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Track, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Track automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Track handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Track. Visit track.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Track today.
I always made sure that my life insurance policy was in force because I can't imagine, right? A father, a husband, a spouse that doesn't work outside of the home, not have life insurance. That's crazy. That's That's wild. So I always made sure my life insurance policy was in force. And I remember sitting just so down and just so you feel like you have no other options. And then you kind of sit down and think to yourself, it's like, man, I would be worth more to Christina and the kids if I wasn't here. Thank God that I didn't own a gun or anything back then. But imagine getting to a point where you feel like the family is better off without you because of that life insurance policy. Because financially they would be okay. And thankfully I didn't go too deep into that thought. But those thoughts kind of cross your mind, where you want to be there, so do so much for your family, but you're just not able to for whatever reason right now. But obviously, that passed, and we stuck through, and we're in a much better place today.
Man, there's so much to digest on. I knew your story, probably 40 or 50% of it, but I heard the other 50% today, and I'm sure there's so much more. But wow, that is so much to digest on. And one thing you said, that's a really good quote. That a lot of people thought you worked too much, but you were working too much because you care about your family, and I think that's missing in society. Like, especially when I was watching All In podcasts, and they were talking about the U.S. work culture, right? And then how we go from hustle culture to now a comfort culture, where a man is judged because he's working a lot, like he don't care about his family. But in reality, a man is supposed to be a provider, and it's our duty that we feel like, hey, we need to provide for our family, and that's why we hustle. And the hustle culture is now being so judged now by the new culture of the comfort culture. And when you said that quote, I was tying the two things together in the back of my head. And man, first of all, so thank you for your service for the military, and and your story is incredible. What's crazy is a lot of people lost a lot of things, were just everything in general in '08, and myself included. And what happened to you? You didn't let it break you, right? You let it wear you down and beat you down, but you did not let it break you. And I think that's the ultimate perseverance. You won. You came out of that battle.
Yeah, and I think I kind of fall in line with your thought process too, because I know you continue to learn and evolve and just always get better. But during those hardest times of struggle, I didn't talk to a whole lot of people, or we didn't turn to a lot of people for guidance or help. Not that you shouldn't. If you have a wonderful support system, 100%, look for help, right? Reach out to people. What Christina and I did was, or what I did a lot was, I just dove into books. And then when I couldn't dive into books, like, I never listened to the radio, music, but I listened to audiobooks. Back then it was more audiobooks than podcasts, all the time, on leadership, business, just building a team, sales. And that's what kept me sharp and motivated. But listening to other people's struggles, like, I told myself, wait, this is just part of the process. And, being in your mid-20s and not coming from parents who teach that, you have to figure it out. So the military was really the first time where I physically saw in front of me what discipline looked like, respect, hard work, and commitment. The motto in the Marine Corps, the first motto is mission accomplishment. It doesn't matter what's going on, what excuses you have, what environment you're in. When on that mission, it's mission accomplishment at all costs. And then the second rule is troop welfare. Troop welfare. So I took that as, okay, mission accomplishment, get my family out of this. And then the second was, it's family welfare, right? Because so it was a really cool experience. But I agree with you that and I don't want to get into what I think too much, but I'm old school like you, so I do believe that traditional values are still very strong, and that's how we raise our family. We're kind of a traditional family in a modern world, and that's where kind of the whole TikTok and social media came about as well.
Yeah, I love it. So for the listeners who don't know, that I actually been to your house. You invited me to your house, and your wife is an amazing cook, and you guys like hosted fantastic dinner. And I also went to your office, and if you can walk everyone through, like, first of all, your wife has been a strong rock part of your entire journey, right? From your house to your office, and then growing the office through the whole journey. And you give her so much credit. I see your TikToks, and you guys are always together. You put her on, there's so much like respect there. I love it.
Yeah. And I think, so it was funny because during COVID many years ago, my daughters, they were doing this, always looking at their phone and dancing. And they were making videos. I said, what are you guys doing? I'll drive to Target, and I would see kids just on their phone dancing and making. I said, what's going on? Is it, Daddy, it's TikTok. I said, what's TikTok? So they told me what TikTok's about. I said, oh, okay. I said, should Daddy make a TikTok? And they all started laughing. And there's some influencers at their school. And, they're saying, oh, my friend, he's famous. He has 30,000 followers. My friend has 45,000 followers. I said, well, okay, I'm going to get some followers. They all started laughing at me. But my daughter bought me a daddy joke book, 365 jokes, one per joke per day for Christmas. And I said, well, honey, I'll just read a joke and just post a video on TikTok. And they started rolling their eyes, and I did it. And then to their surprise, the first week I got 10,000 followers. The second week it was 50,000. And in 6 months we got a million followers. And now I think we're a little over 1 million. And they were blown away. And then it kind of started evolving into, my wife and I would give parenting advice, or we would give marriage advice. And then people started really, liking the advice that we would share. And that's how it's kind of evolved. And then, but I remember one specific moment. I was at home, and I get an Instagram message, and it says, Daniel, that, can you really help me? I'm in a tight spot. I'm pregnant. She's sitting in Las Vegas in a parking plaza, parked. She's sitting in the driver's seat with her belly out to here, almost touching the steering wheel. So I said, give me your phone number. She gives me her phone number, and I call her. And she says, Daniel, I'm from LA. I'm out here in Vegas, moved out here with my boyfriend, 18 years old, and he just left me. He doesn't want anything to do with me. So I simply just told her, well, forget him. It's not about him. It's about you and your child now. You got to get it together. You can't give up. You got to, I just gave her some words of encouragement that I would give my kids. Nothing special that I thought. She calls me back probably 6 months later and says, Daniel, I moved back home with my family. Baby is super healthy, doing great, and I have a full-time job. And I've always said this, and I know you believe this too, Jeff. People's lives, there's that one person that says that one thing at that one moment. And it's probably something that you've heard over and over and over again. But for some reason, at that moment, it just hit you differently. And I believe I was that person for that gal, I was that person for this person. Completely changed her life and her kid's life. And that's why I continue to, go to events, read books, like follow people like you, because I am a different person now than I was even a year ago. So I can read that book over again and have different parts of that book or teach me different things. But but that's the reason why. And then people started asking for for more. So we started a podcast. It's the Seong Life podcast, where my wife and I, we come once a week, and we just, and it's probably more silly than anything else. We're having a great time. I think this week we're on episode 93. But you know what the really cool thing about that is, Jeff, is at the same time, we are building an audio library for our kids and our kids' kids. So when grandma and grandpa aren't here anymore, they're going to have this huge audio book of what life was like, what we were going through. So that's the real cool part about it.
Creating memories. Use money to create memories and skills to create memories. That's awesome. You mentioned books. What are your favorites?
Oh gosh, man. So when I was going through my hardest times, I really dove hard into John Maxwell. The grandfather of leadership. I read his books over and over and over again. And I don't know why that pulled me in so much, but, and I think what it is, to the core, I was a very insecure guy, just never really knew how to deal with problems or issues, or but I think that's one of the reasons why people are attracted to our story, is because, like when guys meet for the first time, it's all about just flexing and just not showing vulnerability. So what I learned was I share a lot of my failures in the very beginning. And then what's funny is the people that I'm talking to, you almost kind of see like their guard going down, and they're like, it's like, oh man, you fought bankruptcy? I'm actually going through that right now. So, and then it just, you can relate to people a lot more. But I believe everybody is a leader, whether you believe it or not. But I'm leading my family. I'm leading my wife. I'm leading my church group members. I'm leading the people that work for me here in the office. Everybody is a leader. And I try to drill that into my kids, is that, hey, for tennis practice, if tennis practice starts at 10, but if you get there at 9:15 and warm up, that's leadership. Just little things like that. But I really do. Leadership is the core of almost every organization or successful organization.
It said John Maxwell is a great book. I'm a fan of John Maxwell's books as well. And you made a voice, right? You made a voice difference in that young lady's life who called you from Vegas. Was there a time that you met somebody in the industry from your beginning building days in insurance that person became your guiding voice, like a compass? You're like, okay, this is my path and I'm going to follow this path. This is what I might inspire for. Like, is there somebody that inspired you that you're like, wow, I got to keep on building, keep my head down, keep on scaling?
There actually are several people, putting my head down and working in the industry for 5-7 years without really doing any networking. It ultimately, I don't recommend that. I think you should poke your head up a little bit from the foxhole and go explore. I started going to my first conferences probably around 5 to 7 years in the industry, and one of the first people that I met, who is a wonderful friend, is Chris Paradiso.
Shout out to Chris Paradiso.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, one of the gems in the industry, one of the most respected people, and I'll tell you, he has opened up so many doors for me and made so many introductions that I don't deserve. But he is probably one of the most influential people in my life when I look back, and when I can't say enough about, and it truly is your network equals your net worth. Another great buddy is Mick Hunt. I mean, this guy is just on fire right now. He has the number one podcast on business and self improvement. Mick Unplugged. Everybody, you guys need to check that out. I mean, he's just doing some amazing things. But he has been one of my best friends, and he has just been a huge impact in my life as well.
Wow. Shout out to Mick. What about events? You say you've been to a couple of events. Which one's your favorite?
That's a tough question, right? Because which one is my favorite? Truly some of my favorite ones are some of the smaller, more intimate masterminds.
Yeah.
But conferences, absolutely go to conferences, because that is a time for you to, networking is a huge thing. Meet other people, meet vendors, and a lot of those, a lot of the conferences, they're at a larger scale, but those have a lot of benefit too, because a lot of the elevator conversations, the happy hour conversations, amazing. And this person introduces you to this person, and which leads to this person. But throughout the years, I'm involved in some mastermind groups, and some of them are 20 people, some of them are 50 people. But it truly, that's where I think the relationships start to blossom, and you really start learning how to become a business, or not even a better agent or agency owner, but just to be a better business owner. And some of these people, some of my friends, right? They have, they revenue in the hundreds of millions. And then, some revenue in the hundreds of thousands. But you can always learn something from someone.
So I know a little bit about your business, and I'll ask some questions. And I'm sure, like, when you meet people at mastermind events and everyone trying to learn something from somebody. So one thing I realized about your business is you have a lot of Yelp reviews on your business. And that says a lot about the foundation and the core mission principle of a business. So can you go a little bit into that, the Yelp reviews and Google reviews?
Yeah. So that strategy started probably 14, 15 years ago, because when I first got into the business, I didn't have a marketing budget. I was just too darn poor. So I said, you know what? My strategy is going to be, I'm going to just let everybody in my life know that I'm in insurance. So when their renewal comes up, or if they bought a new car, they would always think about me. But also, one thing that I focused on was Yelp. I mean, Yelp is pretty big out here. And at that time, they didn't have Google reviews. So I focused on Yelp. And I focused on growing Yelp, having a great social building that social proof. And then once I started building a team, but by myself, I probably got 300 plus 5-star reviews. And then once I started building a team, it became much faster. Now, I will say probably in the last year or so, they've been they haven't been stellar 5-star reviews because of the market rate increases, and customers don't know that it's not us, right? It's the insurance company and the industry. So we 100% do get some 1-star, 2-star, but majority of it is, 5-star reviews. We have over 700 plus reviews now. I want to say we have over maybe 300 that are filtered, that don't show up. So, but the thing is with that strategy, it works wonders. Our phones ring every single day because of that. How much do I spend on it? Absolutely nothing. I have never paid for Yelp except for maybe about a 6-month period. And I thought, because we have the stellar reputation, if I pay for it, maybe Yelp's going to highlight us even more. So I tested it for about 6 months. And I think that's important. You have to test, continue to A/B test. But we realized after 6 months, okay, we were paying $700, $800 a month without really getting any more traffic. So we don't pay for it now. I think now we pay $120 a month, because that gives us the verified badge. It gives us, a few different badges. And then I get to organize the photos that are on Yelp. And I think we have over 3,500 photos. And the strategy behind that is I wanted people to come to our Yelp, not only look at the great reviews, but also connect with the agency, connect with our team members, connect with me. So they tell me, my gosh, Daniel, you have so many photos on there. So Sunday night, when they're watching TV, they're just scrolling through their phone, looking at all of our team photos. I don't put anything on there that says, we'll save you 15% on your auto insurance. It's pictures of our team lunches, some leadership quotes, some, just pictures of us in the office, a day in the life, so that when they come in from making an appointment, when they come into the office, they feel like they know us already. And oftentimes, even if it's not an appointment for me, I will step in and just kind of just say hi to them. And they say, oh my gosh, you're Daniel. You're everywhere. Because we do also advertise I want to say, I think it's 2 now. We were doing 3 grocery stores here in the local area, but it just, we're buying positive thoughts. And they see us on Yelp. Next time they go to the grocery store, they see us in the cart. So we're sending a message, and that they will give us a call. But our phones ring every single day by spending $120 a month. It rings every single day.
I'm curious if you had to compare the funnel traffic, right? Like, there's a Yelp, they list your phone number, and then there's Google, they list your phone number. Google review versus Yelp review, what percentage of the traffic you guys get from each one? Because you have a Google presence as well.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, interesting. Great question. Google has increased throughout the years. So when a new lead comes in, and oftentimes they'll go to our website and submit a quote request. But I know for a fact that they didn't Google us, land on our webpage, and then call us. They went through either Google or the Yelp and clicked on our website from there. So we always ask, how did you find us? So a lot of the times they'll say Yelp or they'll say Google. But now we're noticing it's pretty equal now. Before, a lot of it was Yelp, but now we're noticing that, if we get 10 calls, maybe 6, 7 will be from Yelp, but on another day, 6, 7 will be from Google. It's very equal now.
That's great. That's interesting. And you guys have like a lot of swag on in your office. Did you design all the team swag yourself?
Yeah. So we have a local print shop that helps us with that. But yeah, it's mainly our office that designs it.
Okay. So I'm going to drop a comment section of your Yelp review and your Google review. So this way that when this video drop, people can actually see it and then go check it out.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. But we try to keep it light in the office. There's a lot of team activities this Friday. I mean, we have a lot of young, hungry guys here recently. So, and they love to eat. So Friday for lunch, and I love cooking, Korean barbecue. So I'm going to bring in a grill in the office, and I'm just going to cook for them for 2-3 hours while they're on the phones and just taking a break. They're going to come eat some Korean barbecue. And we try to keep it really fun and light in the office.
Any events you go to this year, end of this year, for the remainder?
And I'm in Chicago next week for a mastermind. And then I have another meeting in Orlando in October, and then a few other personal travels. I think I'm in Philly 1 week, but yeah, it's we're gonna close out the year strong, and looking and then planning for 2025. We always do it right around October, late October. So we're looking forward to that as well.
So currently on the media side, you have Seong Life and you have your personal TikTok. What size engagement traffic are you guys getting like annually? Like, I'm assuming with 1 million followers, you probably around 30, 40 million views a year. Is that close?
I would imagine so. It's funny because if you ask people, YouTube is probably the holy grail. Right. And, figuring out that YouTube is very, very monetarily, it helps. I think we have almost 50 some likes or views. I forget what the stats are. We have monetized, and it's not every single year. Our podcast, we don't have any brand deals on it right now. Our YouTube isn't the strongest. We're trying to get that going, but it's pretty interesting because just from uploading a few videos and kind of make out of a fun little thing that you're doing. Like Buick reached out to us, McDonald's reached out to us. We actually just did one for Golden Corral, Scotch Brite, Tide Bleach. All these companies were starting to reach out to us, and We even hired a PR firm at one point to kind of handle all those deals for us. But I can see why influencers really go all in on this, because it is a lucrative business. Now, I am not saying we're at that level, but we've made a little bit of money from the brand deals.
That's amazing. I think we'll have an offline conversation about affiliate deals. So
yeah, we should.
I'd love to learn from you. And life is about learning. So, all right. Well, if you have a link tree and flow code, I'm gonna drop in the comment section below when this video release. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you again. And then I'm gonna check out my schedule. And maybe the next time I'm in Southern California, I'll swing by again.
That'd be amazing. I would love that, Jeff. It's been a long time.
Man, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. I'm going to have you on in 6 months or 9 months from now, and then we'll connect again.
Let's do it.